When was the last time you used a flip phone? I think Longstreet has one of those, by the way.
So while, yes, you can find an OG flip phone, some of the relics on eBay, we're seeing companies develop new models too.
Flip phones are hot right now.
Flip phone.
There was a time when opening your phone made you feel free, not anxious, not addicted, just connected. Remember the first time you got a cell phone? Maybe it was a Nokia 3310. Maybe it was the iconic Motorola Razr. Or maybe it was that chunky LG chocolate, red, shiny, and smooth as butter. No social media, no notifications, just calls, texts, and maybe a pixelated game of Snake. It wasn't just a phone. It was a moment, a rite of passage, and somehow, it gave us more freedom than the supercomputers we carry in our pockets today.
Remember back in the early 2000s when we all had those old school flip phones? Turns out they are making a comeback. Major phone companies say many Americans want to ditch their smartphones for so-called dumb phones.
Yep.
Some cell phone makers have even come up with new models of these iconic flip and brick phones to help those who want to live a little more simply.
The golden age of flip phones. In the early 2000s, the cell phone market exploded. Each model had personality. Nokia 3310, indestructible, eternal battery. And who could forget Snake? Motorola Razr V3, sleek, futuristic, impossibly thin. Owning one was basically a social upgrade. Sony Ericsson, Walkman, made for music lovers. Your first digital playlist lived here. Sidekick, the cool kid's dream, swivel screen, AIM chat. Texting was finally fun. And the best part? No two phones were exactly alike. We customized ringtones, recorded silly voicemail intros. Your phone reflected you, not the algorithm. Texting wasn't instant. You had to mean it. And when you ended a call, that click, oh, that click, felt final. Like closing a door. That first phone feeling. Getting your first phone was liberation. It meant your parents trusted you. It meant you could go to the mall alone. It meant you were growing up. I remember getting my first phone. It was blue. It slid open. And I couldn't stop checking it, even though no one was texting me yet. You memorized numbers. You sent awkward 160-character love notes. And if someone gave you their ringtone, that was friendship. Phones weren't about the world. They were about your little world.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
The rise of the smartphone. Then, everything changed. The smartphone arrived like a tidal wave. First the iPhone, then Android. Suddenly, it wasn't just about calling or texting. It was about scrolling. Our phones became cameras, news feeds, credit cards, and dopamine machines. No more T9, no more Snake. Now it was Twitter fights and Instagram filters, group chats and ghosting, screen time reports and doom scrolling, and what was supposed to connect us started making us feel more isolated than ever.
There was this interesting study out of the University of Michigan looking at 50,000 young people and found that about 2/3 of them are avoiding their friends.
And phones, some tech experts say, may be in large part to blame.
Smartphones, they do a lot of things, but they take away a lot of attention. We've seen what it's done with kids. We've seen what it does with adults.
I mean, real conversations don't really happen anymore.
However, others say they're not ready to trade up efficiency for simplicity.
I personally like to have my iPhone. I like having like a miniature laptop in my hand.
Information versus intimacy. Let's be honest, modern phones are incredible. We have the entire universe in our pockets. But there's a cost. We wake up and check notifications, not sunlight. We feel anxious when we're disconnected, and even more anxious when we're not. Social comparison. infinite feeds, always reachable, never present. The flip phone didn't demand your attention 24/7. It gave you freedom to live, then check in later. Now, our phones are our lives, and that is the problem.
You might think that cell phones bring us closer together, but new research shows technology can leave us feeling, well, disconnected. That can affect our emotional and physical health.
And now we don't really use our phones to talk to each other. We mostly use our phones to text to each other. And what texting does is give us an opportunity to multitask. We're texting while we're breastfeeding our children. We're texting while we're having breakfast with our families. We're texting while we're having dinner dates. We're texting on the playground and not watching our kids. So it's the multitasking nature of what we're doing with our phones. It gives us the feeling that we don't need to pay full attention to each other. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that texting gives us the feeling that we can hide from each other. We can construct our text to be who we want to be. We can create a self on the text in which we can sort of hide in plain sight. We can edit. We can
And so
not
what's
reveal.
the impact of all that?
Well, the impact of that is that in hiding from each other, in constructing who we want to be instead of kind of showing who we are, we don't reveal, we don't become authentic in the way we would in a full and rich conversation.
Why flip phones felt better? Back then, there were no likes, no followers, no filters, just people talking to people. And if you needed a break, you just closed the phone. No screen addiction, no phantom vibrations, just silence.
People are going on smartphone detoxes using one of these. College kids are praising them online. Millennials and Gen Z professionals, they're trying them out, making flip phones the ultimate statement on mental health.
The HBO series Hacks shows a millennial in search of a new phone.
So, like an upgrade?
No, downgrade. I just need a phone that doesn't have access to email, internet, social media, just like a dumb phone, basically like a brick.
Like a flip phone. It's a new way to unplug from smartphones and make life simpler, and it's trending big time. This college student shared online how she switched to a flip phone part-time.
We realized that every single problem that we have on a night out, everything that leads to us crying, everything that leads to us having a bad time, stems from our phone.
This new trend really shows that Gen Z understands the impact technology is having on their lives. They know that having grown up in this time of smartphones and social media hasn't been good for their mental health.
Some people are going back. Dumb phones are trending again because deep down, we know what we lost. Maybe we can't go back, but we can remember what we felt. That moment of flipping your phone open, feeling in control, not controlled. So maybe, just maybe, it wasn't just a phone. Maybe it was the last time technology gave us freedom instead of anxiety.
As concerning as all this is, in some ways I'm glad that we're having this distraction crisis right now, because it's giving us an opportunity to wake up and to see that we can't just allow technology to happen in our lives. We need to make conscious decisions about what role we want technology to play. Because as challenging as these problems seem, more powerful technologies are just around the corner. Virtual reality, more artificial intelligence, 3D printers, drones, gene editing. These are all technologies that, if we harness them wisely, could be amazing gifts to humanity, could unlock human potential, could allow us to do things we never thought possible before. But if we approach them mindlessly, in the way that I think we've been treating the last 10 years of technological innovation, we run the real risk of consumerizing weapons of mass destruction, of turning these technologies into things that could be extremely detrimental to society and to Earth itself. So we're at this real fork in the road. We need to make a conscious choice about which road we want to go down.